Imagine a world where giants roamed, their colossal footsteps echoing through time. Could such a world have existed? Welcome, dear listeners, to a journey into the annals of history, a voyage beyond the veil of myth and legend. Today, we delve into a question that has intrigued, puzzled, and captivated the human imagination for centuries. Did giants once walk the earth? The concept of giants, beings of enormous stature and strength, is a prevalent theme in the folklore and mythology of countless cultures across the globe. From the Titans of ancient Greece, the Nephilim of the Bible, to the Jotun of Norse mythology, and the Cyclopean figures of the Odyssey, tales of these gargantuan beings have been woven into the fabric of human storytelling since time immemorial. Yet as we delve into these narratives, we encounter a fascinating proposition. Could it be that these were not mere tales spun from the yarn of human imagination, but rather, were they real accounts of a time when giants indeed lived among us? Consider this, the stories of giants are not limited to any particular region or culture. They span across continents, from the legends of the Native Americans to the ancient sagas of the Celts. Is it merely a coincidence that such diverse cultures, separated by vast oceans and time, all speak of these towering figures? Or could it be, as some argue, that these stories have a basis, in fact, a shared memory of a time when the world was a place of titans? But as with any claim that challenges the accepted understanding of our world and our history, we must ask, where is the evidence? If giants did indeed walk among us, where are their remains? Where are their footprints etched in stone? Where are the traces of their colossal presence? And so we embark on this exploration, this quest for understanding. Together, we will sift through the sands of time, unearth the relics of the past, and seek the truth behind the legends. We will question, we will probe, and perhaps we will discover that our world was once a place of giants. But if giants did exist, where is the evidence? As we delve deeper into this mystery, we uncover a trail of breadcrumbs leading to the past. A past that whispers tales of colossal beings that once tread upon the very ground we stand on today. These whispers come from archaeological findings, artifacts, and skeletal remains that defy our understanding of human history. Let's first explore the artifacts. Ancient tools of staggering proportions have been unearthed. Stone hammers so large, they would require a giant's grip. But the scientific community argues that these could merely be ceremonial artifacts, perhaps symbols of power or status. Now let's turn our attention towards the skeletal remains. Over the years, numerous reports have surfaced of extraordinarily large human bones being discovered. From the depths of the Mediterranean Sea to the highlands of Scotland, these bones have sparked intrigue and controversy. Some of these skeletal remains are said to belong to beings over 10 feet tall. However, the controversy lies in the interpretation of these findings. The scientific community largely dismisses these discoveries as hoaxes or misinterpretations of mastodon bones, or the result of medical conditions like gigantism or acromegaly. Skeptics argue that the lack of these bones in museums is proof enough of their non-existence. But what if there's more to the story? What if these dismissals are too hasty? What if, in our quest for scientific accuracy, we are overlooking the possibility of a world that once teemed with giants? After all, isn't it interesting that the stories of giants are not confined to a single culture or era, but are a recurring theme in the folklore and myths of civilizations across the globe? Could it be that these tales are not mere fantasies but echoes of a forgotten past? Echoes that resonate in the artifacts and skeletal remains we've been discussing? The evidence may be controversial, the interpretations disputed, but the allure of the unknown is irresistible. As we continue to unearth the giant mystery, we tread the fine line between skepticism and open-minded exploration. Yet the question remains, have we dismissed these clues too hastily? Tales of giants echo through the annals of time, from every corner of the world. These colossal beings towering above the mundane world feature prominently in the folklore and mythology of countless cultures. They are the stuff of legend, the characters of epic tales, the titans of old that once walked the earth. In the icy fjords of Scandinavia, the Norse spun tales of the Jotun, a race of giants who were the sworn enemies of the gods. Their stories are filled with battles of epic proportions where gods and giants clashed, shaking the very foundations of the world. Meanwhile, across the ocean in the verdant landscapes of Ireland, tales were told of the Fomorians, a race of giants known for their grotesque appearance and their chaotic nature. These giants were said to be the original inhabitants of Ireland, ruling with an iron fist until they were overthrown by the heroic Tuatha De Danann. In the vast expanses of North America, Native American tribes passed down stories of the Wendigo, a malevolent giant spirit associated with winter, the north, and insatiable greed. The Wendigo was a cautionary tale, a warning of the dangers of selfishness and excess. Despite the geographical distances and cultural differences, there are striking similarities in these stories. They all speak of beings of immense size and strength, often possessing supernatural powers. They are invariably associated with the primal forces of nature, the storm, the sea, the wind, the mountains. These common threads beg the question, could there be a shared origin for these tales? An ancient memory of a time when giants truly did walk the earth? Or perhaps an anthropological metaphor, a way to personify the awe-inspiring and terrifying forces of nature that our ancestors were at the mercy of? Could these tales hold a grain of truth, or are they mere figments of our ancestors' vivid imaginations? Not everyone is convinced of the existence of giants. The skeptics have their say. Picture this, a world where the giants of yore, the titans of the ancient world, are merely figments of our collective imagination. A world where these towering entities are reduced to nothing more than tall tales and exaggerated myths. This is the world that the skeptics envision. Skeptics argue that the lack of concrete scientific evidence is a glaring issue. In their eyes, if giants truly roamed the earth, then surely there would be some form of tangible, undeniable proof. They question, where are the towering skeletons? Where are the colossal footprints fossilized in stone? The dearth of such evidence, they argue, points to one conclusion: giants, as we imagine them, did not exist. But the skeptics don't stop there. They delve deeper, questioning the very nature of human storytelling. Humans, they argue, have an innate tendency to exaggerate, to distort the truth, and to mythologize. Our ancestors, faced with the vast, unexplainable world, created stories to make sense of it all. And what's more awe-inspiring, more terrifying than the idea of giants? These titanic beings, they argue, are simply manifestations of our ancestors' fears and aspirations, blown out of proportion by time and retelling. But let's take a pause here. What if the skeptics are right? What if these giants are merely chimeras of our collective imagination? Does this diminish their significance? Does this make the stories of their existence any less captivating? The skeptics may have their say, but so do the believers. For every skeptic, there's a believer holding on to the idea of a world once dominated by giants. They see the skeptics' lack of evidence as a challenge, a mystery waiting to be solved. They continue to search, to question, to imagine. Yet, in the face of skepticism, the belief in ancient giants persists. Because, after all, isn't the world a little more fascinating when we allow room for the unexplainable, the extraordinary, the gigantic? What would a world of giants look like? It's a tantalizing question, isn't it? Imagine, if you will, a landscape dominated by towering figures, their heads brushing the treetops. These titans, masters of their world, would command respect from all living creatures. The ecosystem would have to adapt to accommodate these colossal beings. Large, sturdy trees would be necessary to provide shelter and sustenance. The land would have to be fertile, capable of producing the enormous amounts of food required to sustain these giants. In turn, their presence would influence the evolution of other species, perhaps leading to a world filled with oversized flora and fauna. Think about the societal structure of these behemoths. Would they live in tribes like early humans, or would they be solitary creatures roaming the earth alone? Maybe they would build colossal cities, their architecture a testament to their strength and intellect. Their interactions with humans, if any, would be fascinating to ponder. Would we have been seen as equals, or perhaps as pests, to be ignored or eradicated? Would we have learned from each other, sharing knowledge and culture, or would we have been locked in a perpetual struggle for dominance? And yet, as we speculate, we must remember that these giants, if they existed, were not just larger versions of ourselves. They would have been a different species entirely, with their own unique strengths and weaknesses, their own desires and fears. We must also consider the impact these giants would have had on our own evolution. Would we have developed differently under the shadow of these titans? Would our history, our culture, our very identity as a species have been altered by their presence? As we delve deeper into this realm of giants, we find ourselves faced with more questions than answers. Each speculation, each theory only serves to deepen the mystery. The existence of giants remains a mystery, a tantalizing enigma that continues to captivate us. Let this intrigue not deter us, but spur us on in our quest for knowledge. For in the pursuit of understanding, we find not just answers but a greater appreciation for the world we inhabit, and the world that could have been.